In this video, we're going to work on the chart.js background colors, but then with conditional colors. So this is a part of the chart.js background color series, and here we're going to focus and create a condition here, and the condition is the following. It's basically based on the values here. So let's look at our bar chart right now. This is our basic bar chart here, but what I want to do now is I want to adjust it by adding some negative values here. And if we have negative values, I want the color to be different compared to the positive values. Alright, so for example, the positive values will be green, while the negative values will be red. That is a very common one, like in the chart bar. So for the stocks, basically. So let's start to do this one immediately. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to put in some negative values here. I'll just put in here some negative values, so they will be rotated. Alright. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this false. We don't need this. Next, what we need to do is we need to remove the begin at 0, because now we have a negative value, so it should show immediately the negative values as well. So if I save this, refresh, as you can see now we have up and down rotation of movements. Basically the bar chart here, and these bars should be all red, while these here above should be all green. So how can we do this? Well, first of all, let's start to work on the formula here, because what we are working on here is a loop, and with the loop we also will make a if statement where we check if a condition is true, yes or no. Alright, so what we're going to do here is the following. We have this data here, but this data will eventually have to be moved up here so we can create a new constant. This constant will be called data. Very straightforward, and the values are the values here above. And now we have this, we can now start to basically loop through the data or loop through labels, doesn't matter so much. And we will do the following here. Instead of these colors here that we have here and we are pushing it out, we don't want to push them out because we already know the colors. What we want to do now is basically check if a condition is below 0. If so, make it red. And if it's not, make it green. It's very straightforward. So we say here the following, if. Then we get here the data, and what are we going to get here? It's basically data I. Why this is an array itself. So we're going here in the first one, if data I is, what we can say here above, bigger or equal to 0, in this case, oh, make sure we have this, of course, we need to make this here. Alright, so in this case, then we will say the following. What are we going to say? Well, we say background color. What is that? Not background color. Then we say here, background color dot push value. So what are we going to push? Well, we're going to push the green. So this is background color. I will make the RGBA color. So we'll say here a, because it's a string, RGBA. So we will not use any of these anymore because we don't need this. So I'm going to just delete these. We don't need this. Alright. So I say RGBA. In here I'll say well, it's RGBE. So we need the green color. And then we say here 0, 255, 0, and then we say here, 0.2. This is for the background color, so that's why I'm given an alpha value. And what we also can do is not only the background color, but the border color, we will give it a solid color or solid border. So we say here border, and we push that value, this, and this will be of course alpha value of 1. Alright. So once we have this, so once we did this, we can do another if. And the reason why I don't want to do an else statement is if you use an else statement, it's very hard to read. It's better to make if statement itself, because this is easy to read. It's a small chunk of code compared to if else, it would be very complicated. So we have this, and then we do again data. We just run through this as well. If data would be smaller than 0, yes, smaller, make sure here is it bigger or equal to 0, then it's still positive. It's considered green. But if it's smaller than 0, then it must become red. We can just copy this as well. Push this. Then we say here, remember this is RGBA, so 255, and here we move this other 255. because this is the R color. Alright, so once we have this, we will push this here. We still have the arrays for the background color and the border color. Save this, then you refresh, and there you are. So now we have this very nice, and what happened if we make this all negative? And save this. There you are. Oh, did I miss one? Yes, the number 2. If I save this, there you are. So what will happen is, oh, this is the negative value. And for some reason, the negative value here, what am I missing here? New votes, this is the negative. Oh, if I save this, what's going on? For some reason, the data points here. Alright, this makes sense, sorry. I was just thinking what's going on, but of course we need to put in here data equals the data that we have here above. Save that, refresh, there we are. So now we get all the negative data points here, and of course now if I adjust this, you will see that this will match up to our own item. So let's give the last two also a positive green. Save that, refresh, there you are. So now it shows you, based on a condition, the color that we want. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you enjoy it. And if you enjoy this video, you probably will enjoy this one as well. And if you're interested in chart.js, check out in the description box the link directing to my chart.js course where you can learn everything about chart.js. And finally, of course, make sure you subscribe to my channel.